Okay, 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 okay. Oh my god, I had to like charge my phone. Like, not my phone, the lights. Okay. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Okay, so today I'm doing tonight actually I'm doing an art sesh. I have a lot of things to talk about. This is gonna be more of like a work related art sesh in terms of the topics, but just a heads up, the in here looks like shit right now. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I probably don't care, but like it looks crazy in here. There's like so much stuff. This is a lot of stuff from my tiny house, and because I have no tiny house right now, a lot of stuff's in here. So I'm at the point where I'm gonna be starting. Well, I'm gonna start framing it up. The base is done. The subfloor is almost done, and I just gotta put the plywood on top, and then I can just start framing it. Plywood on top, and secure the base to trailer. But enough of that. I really wanted to talk about a lot of stuff. I'm gonna do for like the painting. I'm just gonna do like a black and white with a red. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, whatever emotions I'm feeling. But that's kind of like the vibe I'm gonna go for. And I probably talked for a long time and then really explain exactly what I'm gonna be talking about with this art sesh. But I took my little notes. And this is basically what I'm gonna. It's like what I wish I knew before I entered the workforce. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. And what I mean is, I think I had like three main topics, but one was definitely people pleasing. Also, want to talk about quiet quitting slash work your wage, because I feel like that's an important thing. That's a big discussion right now, and also navigating people slash learning discernment. So let me just number them on my notepad so that I know what I want to be talking about. So kind of try to face the easel this way so y'all can see it too. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's kind of cold in here. It is cold in here, but I have my sweater on and stuff. But how are you guys been? Like, it's been so long since I've been able to do an art sesh, and I don't. This may be my last one for a while because I may or may not have to move from this location. I don't know yet. I have to speak to the landlord, but before I have to speak to the landlord, I have to like clean up like a lot of extra wood that I have laying around because, like I said, I took down a tiny house and I like rebuilt it. I'm rebuilding it, so there's just like a lot of things that I'm just doing right now, and it's just like it's like super annoying, but. Yeah, so the first thing I really wanted to just like discuss is the people pleasing aspect, because I've been working for almost 10 years, right? I'm about to be 27 soon. My birthday's coming up. Super excited about that. Another year around the sun. Always happy to just be in that position, to be alive and be able to breathe, and I don't know, just to be here and just like to live life. Because I think life is just so important. I think a lot of people sometimes take it for granted, but it's really important. Even like not having every single thing in life, I don't know. I feel like the fact that I can be here and just like do this it's just really cool to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but the first thing I really wanted to talk about is not quiet quitting, people pleasing, and how I'm learning not to be a people pleaser. Because I feel like with, especially like for my first job, what I've learned is sometimes you have to say no, guys. I know you want to like make your bosses happy and you want to be a really good worker, and you know what I'm saying, you're trying to do your best. So I understand where it comes from, but like I think in the end results, you might end up burning yourself out to the point where you might even become resentful towards the people you're working for and working with. So it's just very important to not put yourself in that situation, because I've done it so many times. And it's only recently, like this year, I kind of just learned, like, yo, like, chill, like, chill. Like, it's fine. Like, you don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to do everything. It's fine. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Like, all right, so with one of my jobs, and I still work there. Oh my god, this was the other topic. Working multiple jobs, because currently right now I'm working 3, plus I'm building this damn fucking tiny house, and also just trying to have a life. It's a lot to balance. I wasn't trying to have 3 jobs right now, but like it just ended up having it, and I just didn't want to quit any of them at the moment. So I don't know. I'm kind of just, I'm not stuck. I can always quit something if I wanted to. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of like it's like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? But like back to what I was saying with I'm just taking a note. With people pleasing, and the example I'm going to give you guys, because I've worked, like, one of my jobs where I've worked like many years, literally many years, right, since I was like young. Not I'm still young, but like, you know what I'm saying, like when I first started out working is what I mean, right? And I learned a lot of stuff, because in like the jobs that I usually work, I usually try to work in bakeries slash cake places, bakeries, basically, because that's kind of like what my trade is. I don't want to say trade like the only thing I can do, but it's kind of what I prefer to do. And I mean, it's worked out so far for me. I'm not complaining in terms of pay or anything like that. You know, it's worked out, and so far it hasn't, you know, been like a terrible experience. It's not like my true goal or anything like that, but it gets the bills paid. That's the kind of time I'm on, honestly. But with this job, I've had like, I learned how to do cakes there. So there's also a sense of, you know, of start there, where I, you know, this is kind of like where it was kind of the catalyst of where I am now. So with this job, there's a certain department where they have like the really nice, amazing wedding cakes and birthday cakes and stuff like that. And I got to the point where I was good enough to work in that department. Now, one thing I will say, like, because one thing I always knew, because I always like did stuff here and there for that department, even before I was fully in it full time, is if you see something that you might not agree with in something in somewhere that you work, and you feel like you're not gonna mesh well with it, honestly, sometimes it's better off to say no to the offer. Like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like a straight up me no, but it could be like, sorry, like I'm busy right now. Sorry, I can't take on that responsibility. Like you could ease ways into saying no if you know it's gonna be too much. And that kind of was like my problem, because I always struggled with saying no. I was trying to be like friendly and super helpful towards people and trying to make sure that everybody else is good. But then I'm like, damn, am I making sure I'm good? Shit. So it just got to the point where, because there was things like that I saw my coworkers go through working in that department, and I was just like, well, like that's kind of a lot to deal with, and that's kind of doesn't necessarily make sense, and I don't know if I want to do that. But I'm not the boss, and I don't make the rules. So when you kind of put that together, you kind of have to decide, okay, like, is this gonna work for me? And I knew it wasn't gonna work for me for the longest, because like I said, I did stuff here and there for that department, and it was always frustrating. Like, I can't remember a time like where I had like a smooth month, you know what I'm saying, where there was like no problems or nothing like that, or like a consecutive like 2 weeks where it wasn't like unnecessary things that I had to go through, right? And just looking back, I honestly wish I had said no. I really do. I really do, because it was just it. There's just so many things that just frustrated me so much, and then when I voiced my opinions, because even before I started working, I was like, "Hey, can we do this? I don't want to do like, okay, I'm gonna give an example, right? Because I don't want to just. This is all. This isn't like a. I'm gonna air out people's business, because you know I'm just taking anecdotes from my life, but I don't want it to be like an expose or anything like that. It's not that serious, or like, you know, I'm just trying to like paint the picture for y'all. And there was a time where, like, when I was being offered the position, and there was some things that I saw that could be better, right? Because there was with the person that works there, because the other person decided to step down, and there's two people. So then the offer is sent to me to work with person X. Now with person X wasn't the most reliable person, and because of that, they would always try to like do certain things to make sure person X was on time, or that they were more, that try to make them more responsible. So they would like take an order, but say the order was for technically Sunday, they would say it's for Thursday, right? That's one thing. But inadvertently, that kind of creates more confusion, because then they offer like a schedule where it's like, oh, hey, you can come in whenever. We won't give you specific days to work. You can pick your days. So if you're telling me I can pick my days, I would like to know when the orders will properly be needed for. Because if I come in on, let's say, a Friday, and they put, let's say they put the orders for like, I don't know, Friday, and I come in Thursday to do the order, only to find out it's for Sunday, then I'm like, wow, like I didn't have to necessarily come in Thursday, because there's specific days that's better to come in. Like, it's better to come in close to the weekend because it's more busy, and you could just kind of like knock everything out. And I say more busy, not necessarily because I'm trying to do like more work, but because more orders come in on the weekend. So like if I'm at work and I travel far too, like because it's in the city, so I gotta travel like an hour and change sometimes, and preferably sometimes I come at night. You know, I want to know like when everything is for, so I can properly set my schedule for the week. So I voiced my opinions before I even got the position. It was like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And you know, a couple weeks in, oh, it's back to the same thing. So I was like, well, I guess my opinion didn't matter, right? So that's one of them. And you know, over time, like that just becomes frustrating, because it's like, damn, like I really, you know, I'm not saying this for just because I want to say it. I'm saying it because I feel like this needs to happen. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like everybody's gonna do what they feel like they're gonna do, that they feel like is best for their business, and they might not always take in consideration all the angles, right? And I think just over time, because I just got frustrated, just like over and over and over again, because I keep like saying stuff, and it's just like, well, this isn't happening. And another thing, it was just like I was being like, because when working with person X, like we had issues working because we couldn't like agree on certain things. And I think sometimes, because I'm a person, like I like to improve things upon the workplace. I like to implement methods and stuff like that. Not necessarily like, you know, I discuss this amongst my coworkers, but I'm not like, oh, like I'm not trying to do stuff to show people up. Because I feel like, especially when you're working places and you become that new person in a certain group or department or whatever, like when you do certain stuff, like, oh, like let's try this, let's do it like this, let's let's try these ways, it might come off like you're trying to show the other person up. Right? So I felt like person X probably felt like I was trying to, like, I don't know, comfort their position or not, because we had a lot of disagreements. Oh my God, I'm gonna give an example, right? There's like a rack with like supplies, and they're on the other side of the building. Not even in our direct workroom that we use, they're on another side of the building. So I'm like, why is this over here if we need it? Like, why not have everything that we need in one area? So I put it back in our work area. Now, I didn't discuss this with him, but I was just like, like, he should be fine with it. Like, it's, it's going to make everything easier. And if he has a problem, he'll just tell me no. So he puts it back. He doesn't say anything. So I'm like, so I'm thinking maybe the cleaners put it back or something. So I put it back on, oh my God. Oh shit, like ink flew out of this. Damn. Oh wow. So I put it back on our work side, and only for him to put it back, and come to find out when I actually see him in person, he's like cursing at me, and he's trying to pick a fight with me, and he's like talking all this shit, and I'm just like, why are you saying all this stuff about me? Like, what is the problem? I'm trying to, like, I'm just trying to see what I could do to make things better, right? But not everybody's gonna be able to see it that way too. So that's also the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's gonna take like all your gestures as kind gestures. They might just feel like you're being selfish, and you're trying to basically, I guess, trying to get like brownie points or something. I can't really go into this mind of this person, because honestly I think they were a little bit demented. But like, hey, you can't really pick who you work with. You just get what you get. And the argument was like, oh well, you're messy and you do this and all this stuff, and that's your stuff in the sink and all this stuff, and you don't wash your dishes and all this stuff. And I'm just like, but isn't that your stuff right there? But isn't that what you used last week? Isn't that your supplies right there? And it was just like dealing with that stuff constantly. And even before I was in this department, it was always like that. And it was just like, I got blamed for a lot of shit that I didn't do. And it just became very frustrating. And like I said, I'm not perfect, because I've forgotten stuff. I've definitely missed my dishes that I didn't wash and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that, but it's like, even when I didn't do something, it's like I'm getting blamed, and like, you damn well know you done it. And I hated that so much, because it's like, you're very aware of what you're doing, but it's so much easier to blame somebody else. And that was the first kind of red flag that I saw. Not necessarily that I saw, but like, I saw it in myself, because I knew I wasn't happy working with this person, and I should have left. But because I'm trying to be prideful and I'm trying to prove you wrong, and no, we're gonna get through this. Fuck that. Honestly, y'all, like, your sanity is way more important than trying to prove some idiot what they could be doing better. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially if like if manage, because a lot of times management is gonna try to stay neutral on a lot of things, because if you both do good work, it doesn't make sense to like fire somebody because you didn't agree. You know what I'm saying? Management will try their best to stay neutral, and y'all gotta be, if you're having a dispute with somebody, the best y'all could do is try to be adults about certain situations and work it through. But that's not always gonna be the possibilities. And I'm saying that too, because I still have to work with this person. I still work in this place, but we don't work in the same department anymore. And I don't hate this person. I don't have anything against them. It's like, we don't have any issues, because I don't have to work with them anymore. And it's so much, it's a lot less stressful to deal with. And at this point in my life, I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be bothered with stuff that's not going to make me happy. I don't want to deal with stuff that's not going to be beneficial to me. So if it is draining me mentally, if it is killing my spirit, and you know what I'm saying, like, if it's just not worth it, don't do it. Don't entertain it. It's not worth It's really not worth it. I promise you. The extra money is not worth it. And it wasn't bad money. It wasn't bad money. But like it's not like in my honest opinion, just cause like not all money is good money. Like not all checks is a worthwhile check. Cause it was a decent check, I'm not gonna lie. But like just what came with the check wasn't worth it. It just wasn't. But and with that and you know, circling back to the people pleasing situation, I stayed also because it was like, because I remembered I even said to my boss one time, like, hey, I'm not happy. I don't want to do this anymore. Because a lot of times I would come into work, right? Because, oh my God. Like, because I really didn't enjoy doing the cakes or anything like that. Like, they weren't fun to do. I didn't really get any chances to really implement my creativity with them or anything like that. It was just like, here's a picture, do it. Here's a picture, do it. I felt like a fucking robot. And a lot of times it wasn't really realistic because it's like, I'm not that person that did that specific cake. So it's like, I can't 100% do that. I can't 100% do that cake because I'm not the person that did it. So like, I don't have the same supplies. I don't have this, da da da. It was just a lot. And it, like the management didn't really understand that all the way, and there was just that disconnect. And even when I said, hey, I wasn't happy doing this, I don't want to do it anymore, it was like, you know, like we still need you, and you know, like that person X can't do it alone, you know what I'm saying, we can't trust person X to do all this stuff. I'm just like, listen, if you got a gut feeling, and that was my gut feeling too for the longest time, to not continue doing this department. And because I kept trying to make people happy and do what's right for the business, but am I doing the right thing for myself? Because 9 months later, I'm still happy. Like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. Period, y'all. Like, I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying? Because not everything is gonna work for everybody. Everything isn't for everybody. So I'm just glad that I was able to walk away from it and just not have to deal with it anymore, because it was just too much. And honestly, like it was just so stressful, because sometimes I would come to work and I would just not work, and because I got paid salary too, so it wasn't like a certain, it wasn't like I had to come in and like I had to start working, you know, because like I said, you could come in whenever you want and all this stuff. So I didn't have to like do any of that. So sometimes I would just come to work and I would just sit down and I would just avoid working because I hated it so much and I was not happy. Biggest regret in my life was continuing to do that. It was a little over a year to doing it full time, but that year wasn't worth it. That year wasn't worth it. And I'm just so much happier now. You know what I'm saying? Like not every job that you do is gonna be worth it, and not every job that you do is gonna be the right one for you. Somebody else might take that position and kill it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else, like it has to be for the right person. The factors, like everything has to line up for the right person, and none of that was really lining up with me. But only because I kept trying to make people happy, and I was just like, no, and in turns I was not making myself happy. So that's kind of what I really wanted to like break down with that. There's like more details I could add, but like I feel like y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. But with my next topic that I kind of want to discuss with you guys is quiet quitting. Oh my God. So I'm gonna change this light real quick. Hold on. Okay. So with quiet quitting, I really like that the movement is getting a lot of traction. And what I like most about the movement is that it's making a lot of people realize that sometimes y'all, we're doing a little bit too much. Right? And I'm not saying don't go to work or don't work. Because if you want to be, you know what I'm saying, a contributing citizen to society and all that, and you like working on that stuff, that's fine. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying fuck work. I do like to work. I do. But we have to establish boundaries at work. And I feel like sometimes that doesn't happen. And especially like with the people pleasing, oh my god, let me tell you, like my boundaries before was terrible. Terrible fucking bull. But now I have better boundaries. I'm still working on it. But you know what I'm saying, it's one day at a time. You learn as you go. You learn as you go. It's like you're not gonna know everything in one sitting. Everything isn't gonna just fall into place. But what's gonna work is that you're just gonna learn to have more discernment, and you're gonna know when to say no and when to say yes. And I think quiet quitting kind of emphasized that, because I feel like a lot of times people work and people overwork themselves to death, to the point where I'm just like, okay, like what was the end game towards that? Like what was the, like, yeah, we need money, and like I said, I'm working 3 jobs right now, right? Am I like, I wouldn't do this for like maybe like, I want to say like I wouldn't keep doing this in my 30s. Like I'm about to be 27. I wouldn't continue this in my 30s. Granted, I don't need the money either. Like I don't like it's not essential to have all the money that I'm making. It's not like a super amount of money, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not, I'm not in like a crisis or anything like that. I'm just saving up money because I would like to buy some land, where I could park my tiny house, basically, because I can't. I feel like finding places to rent and stuff like that is super hard, and I just don't want to take the risk. So if I have to buy something, I will buy a piece of land or a house, and I'll have my tiny house in the back, whatever the case may be, and just like try to do like a rental situation. I don't know yet, but with quiet quitting, I feel like, you know, which is essentially working your wage. Because even with my job now, right, at my main job, that's not stressful or anything like that. There's still things that happen that I kind of like don't catch myself doing, but I still do it, and I'm like I'm not trying to be like the manager or on purpose or anything like that, but I always try to point out things that I feel like could be better. But the problem with that is people aren't always gonna see it that way. They're gonna like feel like you're trying to like boss them around or X, Y, and Z, and I'm sorry if it comes off like that. I really am. I'm not trying to like be a dickhead to people. I just see stuff that I feel like we could do that better. We could you know what I'm saying, like we could finesse that better. You know what I'm saying, like it's give and take, right? And my problem with that, and my problem with myself, is I am not the boss. So I feel like, especially when people aren't receiving what you're saying, you need to leave it alone. And I'm saying this to myself as well. Because there's a lot of times I would try to like tell people stuff, or let them know like, hey, like what you're doing, like you could be doing that better. What yada yada yada, X, Y, Z. And they don't always see it that way, and it kind of just comes off as me bossing around or whatever, or me trying to feel like I'm hot shit or all this stuff or whatever the case may be. And it sucks that, because I really do have my best intentions when I try to give people like advice and stuff like that. But like I said, like you can't always give people unsolicited advice, because not everybody's gonna want it, and not everybody's gonna appreciate it, even if it's true. And it takes a lot. You know, it's a lot for me to learn, because sometimes I see it and I'm just like, guys, like, you know, we could do this better. I'm gonna give an example, right? With one of my old jobs, there was a day where we had to we were short staffed that day, and we had like a lot of orders to complete. And I had like special orders that people ordered ahead of time in advance. So I was already packaging these orders, and I couldn't, you know, help them because it was like 3 people. So I couldn't really help them finish what they were doing. But I noticed, you know, because I've been there before both of them, and I said, hey, guys, whatever you're doing, just finish up these, what you got so far, just finish these and just pack them up, because we're not going to be able to finish all these. I got to do these over here. And they kind of just looked at me like I was stupid, right? Because the stores, because, you know, that's for another supermarket, and they need their cakes. So specific stores order a specific amount. So I was like, guys, just send them what you can send them. Don't worry about finishing the rest of these numbers. So like, if, like, let's say if they got 30 orders out of 100, just send the 30 instead of trying to complete the 100. So they kind of just looked at me like I was stupid, and I was just like, I'm just saying, like, better off sending something than nothing, right? And nothing got sent out. So lo and behold, the next day, because I packed my, I had to pack up the special orders, and I was already past my time. So I did, oh my God, say so. So after I did that, you know, I had to leave, and, you know, they left as well, and nothing got sent out, obviously. And lo and behold, I come in the next day, and the president of the fucking company is in our workroom asking us, why didn't we send out anything? And I'm just like, didn't I fucking say this yesterday? And it's so frustrating, because you could clearly see something coming. Like, you see like a train coming, yo. You're like, yo, get off the tracks, get off the tracks, get off the tracks. And the person stays on the fucking tracks, and you're just like, what the fuck? The train is clearly coming, and they can't comprehend the fucking train. I don't know, maybe they got shades on or something. They're blind, they got a blindfold on. Something is preventing them from not seeing the train or thinking the train will not hit them. Right? And it's like these constant situations that I really hate being in, because I don't always like to be like, I told you so. Because if you got to work with people, you know, you try to be likable. And I think if you go, well, I told you so, it's kind of like, it's a little pretentious. But it's just so frustrating, because it's like, God damn it, I really did told you so. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, like, I'm here trying to give y'all a heads up, and y'all looking at me like I'm stupid. And it's frustrating to be in these situations, because they happen all the time. But that's a human nature thing, right? When people don't take you seriously, or they look at you a specific way, your words aren't gonna click, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody's word is gonna click the same way that it should, you know, in general. Did that make sense? Not everybody's gonna receive the same information from, like, okay, jeez. Information will not always be received the same way from each person. So somebody might tell somebody something, but another person could tell them and they might not get it. But the other person could tell them and they could get it from them. So you might not always be able to get through to somebody. So don't try to like force yourself or stress yourself out trying to convince people they need to do better or they need to adjust something. If you said it once, okay. If you said it twice, all right. But after that, you have to stop. Because at the end of the day, if you're not in a position of management, you have to let people fall and let the cookie crumble how it's going to crumble. You can't stress yourself out. And sometimes, it might not be, and some issues you might think is an issue might not be an issue to management, or it might be minuscule in terms of like how much money the company's bringing in and stuff like that. So sometimes you just got to let it go, honestly. That's just what I've learned. If management's not complaining, guess what? You really shouldn't be complaining. even if it could be better or whatever the case may be. If, like I said, if the management's not complaining, then you're kind of assed out. But like I said, with quiet quitting, and it's just like, and it kind of just goes back and forth to the people pleasing, where you need to you gotta know when the fuck you gotta go home. If your time is from 9 to 5, don't stay until 5:30 if you don't need to, or because you feel like you're trying to get brownie points from the boss or whatever the case may be, or you're trying to be a quote unquote good worker. Go home and enjoy your family. Go home and enjoy your life. Go home and do other things that you want to do. Like, unless work is your whole life and you want to work 24/7, go enjoy other things. Go enjoy your passions. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it's your time to go. Like, the work ain't leaving. It's gonna be there tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you. And honestly, like, yes, there's gonna be people that will drag the movement and not go to work and try not to do literally the absolute least. But go and do your job, but also don't overextend yourself to a point where you're burning yourself out unnecessarily, and you're just getting to the point where you're like resenting your job. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all, guys. Promise. Take it from me. Or not, or you might have to learn through your own experience, because what I might say might not 100% resonate, right? But that's kind of how I feel on quiet quitting. It's just, it's needed. It's needed, because I feel like, especially with this generation, not just Gen Z, but like millennials, even some boomers or Gen X. It's just like people just need to realize that you have you have a life too, and you need to live your life. So please go and live your life. Oh, I kind of ran out of ink. Okay, I'm gonna use this. So for this last topic that I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna kind of keep this short. I'm going to talk about working multiple jobs. How's that going so far for me? And also learning discernment and how to navigate the workplace. And just in general, just navigating your jobs and how to just manage everything, and making sure you're not fumbling. Right? So the first thing I kind of want to take is with the working multiple jobs. Like, yes, I am. It's not hard, because I want to actually say, like, all 3 of my jobs, as it is right now, they're not stressful. Because the job I was really stressed about, what I was talking about with my first topic, what was like really stressful, I was really unhappy, and what I'm doing there, I'm doing like more simpler cakes and stuff like that, and I'm kind of just keeping it to like the bare minimum, because I don't want to overextend myself with that job, because I've worked there for so many years. I'm just, I just kind of do my little thing and go. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to just to be Superman over there. I don't want to either. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing my little, doing my little displays and stuff like that for them, and making sure they have stuff to sell. But that's it. So in general, working all 3, and my other job is kind of like another bakery. But even then, like, it's not like the balance is there. Like, it's not, I don't have to like stay extra late or anything like that, or it's not like confusing or anything like that. It's very much like everything's explained, everything's organized, and it's fair. So for all three of my jobs right now, I can honestly say like I'm not stressed out working. The only thing that's really like stressful is kind of like balancing, you know, working on my tiny house and then working and then trying to find the time to have a life too. Because if I wasn't really working on a tiny house, like I would be fine. Because if I need to like have a specific day I want it off, I could just talk to my management. Hey, I need this day off, and you know I could arrange it that way where I can have time to myself if I need it. So I'm fine with that. And I think if you're going to go the route of working multiple jobs, you want to be able to find a jobs that's going to work with you. And I really like that all three of my jobs do work with me in my schedule, so that I'm not, you know, it doesn't feel like I'm hopping from one place to another and I'm like running around like a headless chicken. You know what I'm saying? I can adjust myself if I need to, and if I need to change something, I can. Nothing set in stone. I really like that about the jobs that I'm working. And another thing that I really like is I met a lot of cool people, and I'm learning a lot of different things too. And I think that's also important because I'm getting better at what I'm doing, and it's always good to. That's why I also like to work at different places, because it teaches you a lot of things. And with one of my jobs, it's like there's the boss, like she's a really creative person. She's a very talented woman, and I really like that because I like to work with people that know what they're doing and know how to really run a business, because you learn so much from that too. And that's really why, that's another reason why like I don't want to quit any of the jobs yet, because like I'm getting something from each one of them. So like one could just be like the money, like I said, like one of the jobs, it's salary, and I'm in and out within like less than 10-12 hours, right? I come in like 1 to 2 days a week, sometimes one if like I do a lot of backup supplies and stuff like that. So I could, you know what I'm saying, I can manipulate it a little bit like that, where if I need to, I could get a little bit more time off, so I can adjust it and not lose money either, right? And with the other jobs, like I'm learning to be more creative, I'm learning more methods, you know what I'm saying, I'm learning more. And with another job, I'm getting like health benefits and stuff like that, and also learning stuff too. So working multiple jobs does have its benefits. Now, if there's a time I feel I'm stressed out and I don't want to do it anymore, hey, this is becoming stressful, I might need to cut my hours, or I might need to go back to part-time, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You adjust as you go. Adjust as you go. Adjust as how you feel. And with working with different people, and this is the last thing I'm gonna this is the last thing I'm gonna leave on before I end this video, because I kind of don't want to work on this painting anymore. Is learning discernment. It's not even a painting. This is more of a sketch. But learning discernment, because you're going to run into a lot of people. You're going to run into people that's going to cross you. You're going to run into people that's going to have your back. You're going to run into different types of people. You're going to run into people that's going to do you dirty, all this stuff. Right? And what I've learned, especially with like my newer jobs, because a lot of times, like, I'm a very goofy person. I'm a very energetic person. Like, you know what I'm saying? I give off a specific vibe. Like, yeah, I like to work. I'm a very, like, let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to brainstorm how we can really elevate and do better. And not everybody's going to take it that way, like I said. So, learning discernment for me was just knowing who to talk to and who I shouldn't talk to, and who I need to keep it completely workplace etiquette with, and people I can kind of like let go a little bit with. Because you might meet people you feel like, okay, like you can let your guard down a little bit, and I don't want to sound like pessimistic with that, but you're gonna have to be able to like study people for a while. Like any job you go into, you're gonna have to be able to read people and take information from them. Cause like I don't want to say like I'm a perfect person, I've done no wrong or X, Y, Z. But like I said, everybody's different, and you're gonna have to know who you're gonna mesh well with and who you're not, who you're gonna possibly have clashes with, and how you can avoid people like that and not get into each other's way. So I think working multiple jobs definitely had taught me that, because I've learned a lot of lessons, especially with like the working your wage, because I feel like sometimes I just try to like overextend myself, and it's like kind of the people pleaser in me too as well, where I'm trying to be helpful, I'm trying to, you know, provide people with information that might make their work better and might help them. But honestly, everybody's gonna have to figure out shit for themselves, because no matter if you tell somebody that, now some people will take the information, boom, and be like, oh word, thank you for that, and some people might feel like you're trying to kind of like talk down to them, like you don't need to tell me that, I know that, I've been doing this for just as long as you have, so I don't need any information from you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people like that, and they might not say it like that, but they might think it, and just because somebody's not saying something don't mean they ain't thinking shit. So sometimes it's better to kind of just keep to yourself and hold, not, I don't want to say like, because I don't like to withhold information. I feel like if I know something that's going to genuinely fucking help somebody, I would like them to know. But like I said, not everybody's going to be able to interpret what you say that way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be different. Some people are not going to be as secure with themselves to really take everything that somebody else might say, or really take the information well or comprehend it the way that you think they might. And some people also don't understand that two things could be true at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things can factor in. So when you see somebody, and I'm going to give an example. This is going to be the last example, because I have a coworker, right? And I feel like this coworker isn't always secure with themselves, because I like to be cool with everybody, and if you're not cool with me, that's fine. It's no hate, it's no drama. You know, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We're at work. We're here to get the work done, point blank, period. It doesn't need to be this huge kiki. I do like to be cool with my coworkers and be friendly and have great conversations and, you know what I'm saying, laugh it up and kick it and all that stuff. But work comes first. And at the end of the day, if we don't have that connection, we don't have the connection. Or if we did and then maybe we didn't anymore, it's fine. There's no malice, as long as we can be adults about things. But I have this coworker, and I could tell that they have problems being, like, you know, they have insecurity problems, because there's times where, like, because I'm cool with this other coworker, right? But they're not cool with that coworker I'm cool with. So if I'm kikiing and laughing it up with that coworker, we're having a little vibe or whatever, you know, there would be times it's like, you know, I'm being addressed by this insecure person. Oh, hey, I feel like you guys are talking about me, or, you know, why do I why do I feel like you guys say stuff about me or stuff? And I'm just like, what? Because like I said, I've been through stuff like this before, and I know better not to do stuff like that, because it doesn't feel good. I don't like to talk bad about people. And when I feel like somebody's talking bad about somebody, I like to let them know that it's not nice. Like, don't talk about them. If you can't say something, whatever you're saying that's negative, you're saying to them, to me, you go say that to their face. You don't need to be saying that to me, because then that's gonna be on my conscience. I don't want that. But there'd be times like this person would say stuff like this to me, and I'm just like, I don't have that kind of intentions. You know, I like to come to work, not be drama. You know what I'm saying? I do love a little bit of drama with other people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A little messy like that. But, like, realistically, I don't like to start drama with people. And I don't like to talk shit on people. Because at the end of the day, you don't know how that's going to come back to you. If I don't have nothing nice to say, and I really have, like, malicious thoughts about somebody, I wouldn't want other people to know about that. Like, damn, I would like to work on that myself and trying to figure out where these thoughts are coming from. And I feel like this person came to me like more than enough times for me to feel like you know, you have to be secure with yourself to even if people are talking shit about you, like when people talk shit, like then like you can't go to people and go, oh, I heard you talking shit, because more than likely the person's gonna say no, they're not. Why would they tell you that? They're at work. Like nobody's gonna like even if they're talking shit about you, like nobody's gonna address even if you address them or ask them, hey, like I feel like you're talking shit. Nobody's gonna admit that. Nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I was talking shit, unless you know they're trying to start shit, and a lot of people don't want to start shit. You know that it's not clicking for some people. That when you realize people talk, it's a human thing. So I feel like with this coworker, and I kind of realized that to kind of keep my distance from them, because you know for some people they like to be all or nothing, and I just didn't like that, because it's just like why can't I be cool with this person and be cool with you? Because I don't want to be like I'm a genuine person. But you know what I'm saying, like to be honest with people, I like to keep it real with people. I like to make sure that everybody's good. So like the last thing I want to do is be talking shit on you. So I just decided, hey, I'm gonna keep my distance from this person, because you need to sort yourself out and figure yourselves out and work on yourself, because sometimes people, they're fighting a lot of things inside of themselves, and they're dealing with a lot of issues mentally, and sometimes they don't know how to process all of that, so then they kind of project it onto you, and that's not good. And if you feel like that's happening, sometimes it's good to like slowly like back away and just go about it peacefully and quietly. It doesn't have to be a drama, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Just come, do what you gotta do. They do what they gotta do. It doesn't have to be any drama. And you're gonna learn that as you go and as you work with different people and you work with different personalities. You're gonna know who you're gonna mesh with and who you're not. But that's gonna be kind of the end of the video for you guys. I wish I could have done something more. I'm kind of like not in like a super artsy mood. I am in an artsy mood, but like there's just so much shit in here right now, and that's to like kind of tell me to shut the fuck up and end this video. But if you guys feel like I missed something in this video, let me know. I definitely have more points that I could probably get into more. I definitely kind of want to do more of a, I want to do another people pleasing video, because I feel like I have a lot more anecdotal situations that I can throw in. But that's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the new subscribers. I really appreciate the engagement. Thank you guys for the comments on my dealing with the homophobic coworker situation. I got some really good advice from you guys. I really appreciate that. And as of now, I don't really have any updates. Me and the person hasn't really been talking. Not necessarily that we've ever talked, but we've never really been we haven't really been running into each other or anything like that. So like I think, and haven't really been like, you know, we just haven't really gotten an opportunity to like engage, and I'm glad that's not happening. Because I don't want any drama, and I don't want it to be like a confrontation / altercation, because I don't want to go back and forth with nobody. But thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate everything that you guys do, all the likes, all the subscriptions, just in general, just all the support. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in another video. It might be another paint sesh. I don't know. I might do one. I have to speak to my landlord, hopefully tomorrow or the day after, because I have to clean up, not in here, but like outside. I have like a lot of stuff I gotta clean up, make sure it looks good, because that's gonna be another video that I'm gonna address. But